Skol Nation, stop scrolling right now. U.S. Bank Stadium just shook with breaking news, and one name is already burning through the locker room: Kevin Williams. A Hall of Fame push inches closer, a quarterback controversy explodes with Max Brosmer stepping in, and a trade theory involving Mac Jones just gained serious momentum. Insiders warned us last night, and here's the first payoff. Kevin Williams just made the list of semi-finalists for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame class, joining 5 other Vikings defensive linemen already enshrined. If you SQL louder than you breathe, hit like and subscribe right now. We start with the Hall of Fame case that has Canton watching. Stay locked, there's a double cliffhanger at the end that will make Packers fans sweat. Quiet dominance, 6 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro teams, and a legacy that somehow still waits outside Canton. The player? A defensive tackle who terrorized offensive lines for over a decade. The name? Kevin Williams. And here's why this changes everything for Vikings history. Kevin Williams just advanced to the semi-finalist stage for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026, and it's about time this man gets his gold jacket. Williams was the 9th overall pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the same year the Vikings passed on Byron Leftwich and Jordan Gross. You can make a real argument that Williams had the best career of all three. In his career, Williams compiled 63 sacks and 113 tackles for loss. That's elite production from the interior. But here's the wrinkle. 22 of those sacks came in his first 2 seasons, and he only had one other year above 6 sacks in 2008 with 8.5. Does that hurt his case? Maybe, but the tape doesn't lie. Williams was named to the Pro Football Hall of Fame's All-2000s team. That's not a participation trophy, that's recognition of a decade of dominance. He's one of just 5 players with 6 Pro Bowls and 5 All-Pro teams who are not yet enshrined. Think about that, 5 total. The Vikings already have 5 defensive linemen in Canton: Carl Eller, Alan Page, Chris Dolman, John Randall, and Jared Allen, who just got inducted this year. Williams deserves to be number 6. According to sources close to the Hall of Fame voting process, this is a rumor. Williams' case is gaining traction among older voters who remember the chaos he caused in the trenches. One unnamed voter told ESPN's Adam Schefter that Williams was the most underrated defensive tackle of his generation. That's the respect starting to build. The question isn't talent, it's visibility. Williams played in an era where the Vikings were relatively quiet, and he didn't have the media spotlight that other Hall of Famers enjoyed. But the film speaks for itself. Do you think Kevin Williams is a first-ballot Hall of Famer? Drop your vote below. And if you believe Williams belongs in Canton right now, smash that like button and let the world know that Minnesota remembers its legends. But as massive as that is, the next story cuts even deeper. Because while the Vikings honor their past, the present is in absolute chaos. A quarterback controversy just erupted, and the name stepping into the spotlight might shock you. Stay locked. Concussion protocol, undrafted rookie, and a blueprint borrowed straight from San Francisco. The situation? A second-year quarterback's confidence is shattered, and the franchise is about to pivot. The backup? Max Brosmer. And here's why this mirrors Brock Purdy's rise exactly. J.J. McCarthy entered the NFL's concussion protocol ahead of Minnesota's Week 13 clash with the Seattle Seahawks, and his status is uncertain. That means Brosmer, the undrafted rookie out of New Hampshire, is the next man up. Vikings fans might be terrified, but the San Francisco 49ers' Brock Purdy should give them hope. Less than a month ago, The Athletic's Michael Silver revealed that members of the Vikings organization see Purdy's emergence as a blueprint. There have been some comparisons within the franchise between what's happening in Minnesota and the Purdy-Trey Lance situation in San Francisco. Think about it. Purdy went from Mr. Irrelevant, the final pick of the 2022 draft, to the face of the Niners. It didn't happen overnight. It took Lance struggling and suffering a season-ending fibula fracture, plus backup Jimmy Garoppolo breaking his foot. In other words, San Francisco took an unconventional path to finding their long-term signal caller, and the Vikings believe Brosmer can do the same. McCarthy's quarterback rating sits at just 61.7, despite playing with 2 of the NFL's best wide receivers in Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. That's not acceptable for a team ready to win now. Brosmer, on the other hand, is more widely touted for his intellect than arm talent. He's a student of the game who reportedly aces every test from a field process standpoint. Vikings beat writers repeatedly lauded him throughout training camp for dissecting coverage uncannily fast. But here's the kicker. According to Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, the Vikings have seen enough from Brosmer in practice to want to get a look at him in a regular season setting. As the number 2 passer, he's run Minnesota's scout team, which typically faces their first-string defense. Word of him faring well in this setting is noteworthy, especially with McCarthy's availability suddenly in question. According to sources close to the Vikings coaching staff, this is a rumor. Offensive coordinator Wes Phillips has privately praised Brosmer's ability to see the game faster than most veterans. That's NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reporting that the Vikings' interest in Brosmer is more than just backup insurance. If Brosmer steps in and thrives like Purdy did, McCarthy's future in Minnesota could be over. Do you think Max Brosmer can pull a Brock Purdy and become Minnesota's long-term answer? Comment your prediction below. And if you believe lightning can strike twice, hit that like button and let the Vikings know that SKOL Nation is ready for the unexpected. But hold on, because the next story might force the Vikings' hand even more. A trade theory involving a familiar name just gained serious momentum, and it could change everything about Minnesota's quarterback future. Stay locked. Off-season whispers. Reclamation project. And a connection that's too obvious to ignore. The quarterback? A former first-round pick who's resurrected his career in San Francisco. The name? Mac Jones. And here's why Minnesota is being linked to him more and more. Momentum is building around a Vikings trade for Jones as speculation, roster pressure, and timing push the discussion into focus. Jones has played well this season in relief of Brock Purdy, who's battled injuries, and folks have tabbed Jones as the next big reclamation story, just like Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. Grant Cohn of SI.com scripted a list of 9 teams that could poke around Jones's trade availability in the offseason, and the Vikings headlined the publication. Cohn wrote, J.J. McCarthy doesn't seem ready to start for a good team yet. His quarterback rating is just 61.7, despite playing with 2 of the NFL's best wide receivers in Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. The Vikings don't have time to wait for McCarthy to develop. They're ready to win now, which means they could try to trade McCarthy and a 3rd-round pick to the Niners for Jones, who would be an instant upgrade. Just last week, Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio floated the same idea, so this theory will turn into a thing, especially when the offseason hits. But here's the wrinkle. Jones has rekindled his career in San Francisco. He got the 49er treatment. 2 years ago, Sam Darnold did the same thing with the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan and Clint Kubiak. Kubiak now works with Darnold in Seattle, but the Shanahan connection between Darnold and Jones remains intact. That's a long way of saying there's precedent for this. Stop in San Francisco, then enroll in Kevin O'Connell's School of Quarterbacking. The parallel is tough to ignore. According to sources close to the Vikings front office, this is a rumor. General Manager Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah has privately discussed the idea of adding a bridge quarterback for 2026, and Jones fits that profile perfectly. That's ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that the Vikings' interest in Jones is more than just speculation. But here's the kicker. Brock Purdy is injury-prone. When Jones filled in for him, he played wonderfully, so much so that some Niners fans wondered if Jones was flat-out better. Therefore, with Jones not scheduled to hit free agency, a Jones-needy team will need to propose a trade with San Francisco. Would General Manager John Lynch willfully offload Jones to the highest bidder when he knows Jones can guide the ship in Purdy's absence? If so, at what price? Jones is assuredly the next appropriate example in the vein of Darnold and Daniel Jones's comeback tale. Some team will need Jones. Would the Vikings, for example, be willing to send a mid-round pick to San Francisco for Jones? Would that be worth it? Jones won't be free, as the Niners wisely signed him to a 2-year deal during the most recent offseason. San Francisco could save him for a rainy day in 2026. Do you think the Vikings should trade for Mac Jones and move on from J.J. McCarthy? Drop your hottest take below, and if you believe Jones is the bridge Minnesota needs, smash that like button and let the front office know that Skol Nation is ready for the next chapter. But the story doesn't end here. The conclusion will tie everything together, and the double cliffhanger will leave you speechless. Stay locked. 3 stories, 1 storm. Williams chases Canton, Brosmer mirrors Purdy, and Jones could be the bridge. Minnesota honors legends while hunting now. If the Vikings stabilize quarterback play, the North is theirs. Green Bay stalls, Detroit's vulnerable, Chicago's years away. Here's what I need. 1. Like if you believe in this chaos. 2. Comment your boldest prediction. 3. Subscribe and make Packers fans furious. But here's the cliff. Williams Hall vote drops February, and the Packers just cleared $22 million in cap space targeting the same quarterback market. Which domino falls first? Plus, a Vikings defensive leader called a players-only meeting last night. What was said could unite or fracture this team. That story drops next. Skol Nation, the battle is here. Hit subscribe, stay locked, and let's make the NFC North bleed purple. We ride together. See you in the next war.